Hello, hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, UiPath Robot Factory. Okay, today we'll discuss about what are all the steps involved in end-to-end process. Okay, and what are all the documents that we have to do, we have to prepare before the project starts, and what are all the documents that we have to prepare once done with the project, and what are all the what are all the documents that we have to hand over to the clients. These are all the things we'll discuss in these sessions. Okay, this is the slide. Let's come to this slide. This is the overview. Okay, overview of the UiPath RPA life cycle analysis phase, where the project analyzation is going on, development stage, where the actual development will start, testing phase, where actual testing is done once bot has been developed. Okay, deployment, once everything is done, you're going to deploy to the server or VM. Okay, next we'll move for detailed study. Okay, we'll move for detailed study of the end-to-end process. First step is assessment. What is assessment? See, the clients are going to discuss whether this process can be automate or not. This is the first step. The clients will going to discuss, because every process we can't automate. Some are like there must be human interactions, and where are all the human interactions are there, and how much the process depend on the human interaction. Everything. Uh, these are all the things that we have to look before we want to automate. Okay, like for example, see, let us consider it. You're going to log in to some website. Okay, in some website, before login, it's going to show a pop-up saying that you should click on I am not a robot. Once you click on I am not a robot, there is a pop-up in front of the window saying that click on images, once images. You have to click on that images. Once you click on that images, then only you can enter it in the website. Here these stores, we can't do it from the bot, but we can do. In such scenarios, we can merge with an AI, that is artificial intelligence. Okay, and also not only that thing, for example, let us consider customer care. Okay, in customer care, uh, the human interaction is very important. We can only prepare a bot to fetch the details of the customer. If it is like in PDF format, or it is maybe in the some other formats, we can fetch it easily and we can store it in a database. But the bot cannot interact with the customer. Okay, these are the things we have to be very clear before we are going to automate the process, whether this can be done, we can do or not. Okay, okay. In this assessment, these are all the discussions going on. Okay, and if they are going to automate, what is the use of the process? Uh, this is a very important thing. Let us consider every day in some, like in big companies, every day there are 200 plus hirings are going on. Minimum of 100 hirings are going on. Okay, each and every employee information should be entered into one database. Okay, these like repetitive task every day. They are going to hire 100 of people. In some peak times they will hiring like 500, 600 people. At that time, a single man cannot be do that much task. Okay, in such scenarios, they are going to hire, again they will going to hire to do that, hire some people to do that work. Okay, in this scenario, if you use a single bot, or by using bot we can do this all the work. Okay, in a very small time, the bot is going to finish all the work in a small time. We can also reduce the manpower. We can also increase the um, we can also increase the rate of work. Okay, all these things, these are all the advantages of the bot. Like this process, if this process are automated, there are a lot of gain for the company, because let us consider, if there are minimum of 25K they have to pay for one employee, like that if there are 20 employees per month, more than 2 lakh. Okay, if they deploy one bot in the place of 10 employees, this will not that much cost compared to what they are going to pay. This is very less. If they pay once for the license, that's okay. Everything is there is no other investments on that. Okay. Okay, they are going to discuss all these things. Okay, and if they invest the money in this automation, is it worth for them or not? And what is the return on investment? What is the return from the bot? Just now I told you that what like these scenarios, HR. What I'm going to give you an HR example. Like this, there are many scenarios in IT industries. Uh, I think these are all the things where they are going to calculate before giving the process for automation. Okay, and how many bots they require to deploy the process, depending on the process. If the process is too big, and if there are 3 to 4 process they want to automate, means they have to purchase the more bots licenses. And these are all the things they are going to think, and then they are going to check before they decide to automate the process. Okay, and next we move on to technical feasibility. Here they're going to decide what are all the process they can automate effectively. Okay, because this is a very important like step. Okay, because we cannot automate some applications like legacy and Java applications. They are not going to support for automation process. There are a lot of errors we are going to face. Okay, depending on this, and we will want, and we have to check whether the APIs are there or not. For some applications we can't automate all the applications, and we have to think of this. This is called as feasibility study. Okay, new business opportunities. In this new business opportunities, here they will think, is it really it will help for help by automation this process or not, like that everything. And also all the business process has been going to do here. Next is project kickoff. Once all this assessment, technical feasibility, and business opportunity cost, then we move for project kickoff, where the develop where the a green signal has been given for development. Okay, once we get green signal, we start development. Initialization is nothing but what are all the initial uh, like initial conditions. We are going to ready with what are all the applications that we have to automate. We have to install that applications, and what are the initialization, what are the process. We are going to correct all the information about the project by like a PDD. We are going to discuss in next further classes. That is initialization. All the initialization documents has been collected here. And next, once we get all the documents and all the access for all the websites, we'll start designing, and next we are going to build the project. Once we build the project, we have to test it whether is it working fine or not. Okay, once we go through the testing, we are once we go through the testing, after testing we are going to move for next user acceptance testing. Here the client is going to test the bot whether the bot reaches their criteria or not. Okay, here the client is going to test end by end, see the bot, or like whether the bot is working with means the bot is working correctly or not, or is it reaches their requirement or not. Everything they have tested. Once user acceptance testing is passed, then only the bot is go for deployment. Until unless if the user acceptance testing is failed, again we should go for next, we should go back to the development. Because if the bot is not reaches their need, means again we have to develop as per the requirement and as per the needs. Okay, Once user acceptance testing, that is UAT testing, is done, we'll go for deployment. And once we deploy the bot in the server, that is in their VM, the bot starts to run in real time. That is, and till now we are getting some only test case data for the process. Now, once the bot moved to deployment, the real time works will start. Okay. Next, stabilization. We are going to stabilize the bot, and we are going to give the support. The support is uh, depending on the company. Some companies are going to give support for 1 year, some are like 3 years, like depending on long term, short term, and also 6 months, like that. Okay. These are all the things about this flow diagram. Next, we'll move for documentation. Okay, what are all the documents that we have to prepare during the development? Okay, these are all the documents, like here we have first, from their side they will give the process design document. Okay, the process design document contains all the information about the process, what we are going to automate, and what is the agenda of the process, and what are the applications that we have to use during this process, and what is the input, and what should be the output, and how we have to reach the destination, like how to um, means we have once the bot run, there should be some output. Okay, no, like what should be the output, everything they are going to give the given the process design, how the process should be designed. Okay, next is solution design. For process design, once we get process design document, we'll start to do the solution design document. Okay, let's see the solution design document. I will give you one overview on that. Okay, this is the solution design document. Here, the first heading is process overview. You have to give the overview of the process. What is the process name? And short description of process. What is the process? Means what is the agenda of the process? You have to give in a very short manner. Should not elaborate more. And input and output data. What is the input to start the process, and what is the output? Okay, every. Next is applications used in the process. What are all the applications that you are going to using in the process, that you should mention here. Next is process map. This is the design structure. This is like whatever the process design in the PTT, same thing that you are going to paste here, and you are going to explain the each block. Once you are going to explain the each block, what is the function, then again you want to design that same process map in terms of your technical map. Okay, like what the, for example, let us consider there are two things, that is dispatcher and performer. You have some data, that you consider that the data can you get through the email. Okay, once you extract the data from the email, you have to insert that data to the queues. Okay, that is nothing but database. Okay, this is like dispatcher from bot to the database, like this. Here you have here, once you going to dispatch the data, it has been stored in the orchestrator, nothing but a server. Okay, bot server. These things can be represented by using some blocks. Okay, by you have to technically uh, inform how you are going to design the bot. Okay, everything in the this solution design document. Okay, next is exceptions. Exceptions are there are two types of exceptions. One is known exceptions. Some are unknown exceptions. Known exception is nothing but, For example, business rule exception. Let us consider you are going to enter a username and password for login. If you are entering a wrong credentials, it is a business rule exception. Okay, let us consider account number. You have to, every time the bot is going to uh, enter the account number, and for next process, okay, the account number should be in integer type. Okay, if the account number is in string value, the bot will not going to accept it because it is an integer value. But if they are giving any string value, the bot is going to throw an exception saying that send an proper account number. This is one sort of business rule exception. System exception is nothing but if you are facing an internet issue or selectors issue like this, these are all related to the no unknown exceptions. Okay, next, bot topology. This is like how we are going to build the robot using by using RE framework, where initialization of credentials and the configuration config files are going to done in the initialization. Everything step by step you want to explain because you are going to design the bot in an RE framework. It is not a simple structure, it's a very complicated structure where you want to explain each and every block. Okay, each and every block you want to explain. Next is these are all the things that is going to explain the bot topology. Next is bot framework. In bot framework, RE framework, uh, like work is like templates. What are the templates that you are going to create the automation workflow to design the bot in structured format and with enhanced reliability, everything that we are going to explain here. Next is frequency of the bot run. And of example, let us consider the human action will take 10 minutes for complete one process. And what is the time taken by the bot to complete the same process? This is the very important thing, because if the bot will also take 10 minutes, since why they required the bot, why they are going to invest on uh, robotics. Okay, this is because the bot speed is very important. In place of uh, here let us consider the human will want to process only one applications in 10 minutes, means bot should at least do 5 to 6 applications. This is the frequency. Human frequency is what should at least make 5 times greater, 5 to 6 times greater than the human work. Okay, next, credential manager, where you're going to what are the credentials and where are the credentials that you're going to store. What are the credentials and how you're going to store. Like in some clients, they don't trust on the uh, they're going to give very important for the credential storage. The credential storage may be a cyber or and there are many applications to store the credentials. But I think UiPath is a better. It's a better thing, and no need of taking any external application, because the orchestrator itself is providing a very high security for a data. Okay, and data storage and privacy, there are, and data storage and privacy is also very important for the some projects. Okay, and assumptions that you have to write. I think you will be okay with that assumptions. These are all the things that you are going to explain in the solution design document. Okay, let's move for technical design document. The name only going to tell what is technical design document. Technically, you want to explain all the terms and conditions, what are all the things that you want to, what that you need to do this process. Everything will be going to explain here. Okay, next is technical design document. Okay, this is the technical design document, like system requirements, OS, processor, RAM, hard disk, components, and pre-requirements. What are all the pre-requirements? And because UiPath is very important, because we are going to build the robot in UiPath itself. This is the platform we want to install, and what are the back office robot license, everything. These are the system, and what what is the folder structure before, and you must be aware of what are the folders that you are going to create during the process. Everything you have to mention here, and what is it function, okay, everything for what purpose you are going to prepare these folders. Okay, for example, you are going to create one folder called as error messages. If any error causes, the bot should take a screenshot and it should be saved in that error message folder. Okay, this is the function. We know the function because I am a developer. As a developer, I am very well know about that. What is the function and what is the importance of that folder, but client would not know about that, because to give all this information to the client, we have to create one technical design where we have to go through all this concept. We want to explain very clearly. Okay, and bot design, what are all the dependencies, like what are the managed packages that we want to install, what are the versions, and what are the issues, and this everything you want to mention here. Okay, this is about the technical design document. Before going code review, let us discuss the sprint plan. The sprint plan is also very important role. For some projects, the sprint is like 2 sprints. For complicated projects, high risk projects, the sprint is like 3 sprints, 4 sprints. And also one sprint is equal to 2 weeks. It may be also differ from one organization to other organization. For one sprint, 2 weeks. Okay, if the project is not that much complicated, you are given with the 2 sprints. Okay, so I will going to explain what is the sprint. Okay, I will going to explain now. Here, let us consider you're given with one process. The main theme of this process is you are given some PDF documents, the PDF documents sent to your one email ID. Okay, uh, let us consider this is the email box. Mailbox. What is the task is, once you receive a mail having a attachment, we have to download that PDF. Okay, once you download the PDF, you want to extract the data, specific data. Once you extract the specific data, you should upload it to the server. This is your task. Okay, a very small task. We don't require any huge time. Okay, here only 3 steps. Okay, we, we means they are going. You have to decide the sprint plan here. Let us consider I am having with it 2 sprints. One sprint is equal to 2 weeks. 2 sprints is equal to 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, how you are going to cover the project? Okay, in first sprint, you can given as in first sprint you can cover these 2 functions. Means the bot is trigger the mail. Once the mail triggered, the bot is looking for the email. If the email is genuine, and if this email reaches its requirement, the bot is going to extract the PDF file. Okay, once bot extract the PDF file, again we are going to extract the particular fields in PDF file. Okay, if it is a PDF file, it is going to extract the specific fields from the PDF. Okay, into one Excel. These function we can finish in first sprint, like in 2 weeks. Okay, once this sprint completed, first sprint we have to explain to the client. each and every sprint, after finishing of each sprint, we should explain what are all the things that we have done to the client. Sometimes the clients are not going to involve in the sprints. You have to explain to your higher authorities like manager, team leader. Team leader is always with you, no issue. We have to explain to the manager. Okay, here you have to explain and you have to run the bot in front of them. The bot should run very successfully for this functionality. The bot should enter into the mailbox and it has to look for unread email. If and also if it reaches their bot condition, then you should extract the PDF and you should also extract the data from the PDF. This is your first sprint. Like in 2 weeks, you can easily design this function in the bot. Okay. After this is your second sprint. This is your second sprint. In second sprint, that is again each sprint contains 2 weeks. Already 2 weeks over for this first sprint. Then only 2 weeks is remaining. In these 2 weeks, you take 1 week for remaining development part. Let us take, you will go into by using the database query, by using database activities. You have to upload all the data in the Excel to the database. Finally, your task has completed. Once task done, again we'll move for the next level of testing. That is nothing but user acceptance testing. Once all finished, once that is after finishing of second round, again you have to give one demo or internal demo. Once internal demo happened, again you need to give the demo, that is final demo, UAT, user acceptance testing. Okay, next is code review. Code review is also not that big thing. Let us consider our RE framework has 4 state: initialization, get transaction, process transaction, and end state. Okay, let us consider you have to, what are all the things that you are going to do in the init state, like initialization state. We're going to read the config, initialization all the applications, and we are going to read the config file. Like that, we are going to depend on the project. If you are going to if your mail is your input data, you're going to read the mail initialization. What are the initial activities that you want to do? Everything you can do here. These are all the things we have to explain in one certain in table. First, let us consider like state, action, what is the, like what is the function, description, everything that you have to write in a table manner. This is nothing but a code review checklist. Each and every block you have to explain what are all the things that you are going to do. And for example, if you are going to invoke any workflows, you have to mention here what are all the workflows that you invoked here, and what are all the what are all the things like workflows and some other like components. If you use any components, everything that you have to explain what is the path of that workflow, what is the name of that invoke workflow, everything that you have to mention here. Like that you have to mention for all the for this one blocks. Okay, and that is about the code review. Next is test case. This is very important thing. Here the test case first the test case should be in this format. This is actually I did it for myself, but it is not actually, it is not in this type of format. There are some changes are there in real time. This is a process name. You have to give test name and role, tester name and role. The test case, this one, who wrote the test case, everything you have to mention here. And test case executed by, who is going to execute this test case, that approved. Okay, next case, test cases. For example, step 1, log into Salesforce. That is considered on Salesforce website. So just for your understanding purpose, I'm going to saying that uh, the test case is for opening the Salesforce browser. Okay, log into the Salesforce. What are all the steps? Open browser with appropriate URL, enter the valid username and password, click on login. Once we click on login, we have to see the Salesforce icon that we have to, that should be visible once we log into the Salesforce website. On you can, if you have any doubt, you can go to the, if you go for any website, you have some certain unique IDs, like unique things that you can easily, you can come to know. Oh, okay, we already log in, like that. Okay, like that. If we get that icon, unique icons, we decide that, yeah, we yes, we are logging into the website, like that. For same, if you're going to write the negative, same thing here, you're giving username, invalid username, invalid password, click on login, unable to see the Salesforce icon, like that. Each and every step you have to write the test cases. Okay friends, these are all the things for I'm going to end the session for today's session for the, because in next coming sessions we'll discuss about the remaining documentation, that is what is rollback plan, what is deployment guide, what is code specification document, what is user manual. These are the very important things. Okay, we're going to discuss in next coming classes. Till now have discussed a very important concepts. Please go through this video, and I think it will help you a lot in your projects. Okay, in further sessions I'm going to show one project, real-time project, that is the fixed deposit automation. Okay, fixed deposit automation, where we are going to do all the automation related to the banking industry. And here the main agenda of the automation process is, already we have one database. Every day we are getting some mails. In that mail we have to extract some data, that is customer IDs. We have to compare that customer IDs with this database, okay, SQL database. And if the customer account account balance is less than a standard that has given from the bank, then he is not eligible for the fixed deposit. The customer account number should be greater than some standards, like that scenario. I think we're going to discuss in next coming sessions. I think today we'll understand all the things that what I explained. Okay, friends, we'll going to experimenting things in next further sessions, and I'm going to teach you all the things regarding how to connect database activities in RE framework. Everything I'm going to teach you in next coming classes. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.